sit back and relax and let me make some predictions and maybe talk some shit about some teams. Oh yeah, on this holiday. So cheers to anyone that's tuned in. So let's recap last week's college football games with bowl games. Of course, you had to recap the first round of the playoffs. Of course, I'll recap my Cleveland trip over the weekend as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Of course, Wednesday, obviously, last week we talked about, obviously Old Dominion beat South Florida. And Delaware won their bowl game. They're beating Louisiana. Delaware won the 68 Ventures Bowl. Meanwhile, so yeah, Old Dominion beat South Florida in the Cure Bowl. Arkansas State beat Missouri State in the first ever Xbox Bowl game. Then this past Friday, we had the college football playoffs. Before we get into that, we had a couple bowl games before that going into it. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, it was not even close. Western Michigan put up 27 points in the first quarter. Score up being 41-6. They dominated Kennesaw State to get their 10th win of the year. I had Kennesaw as underdog, but this Western Michigan team is legit. Finished strong, win the MAC championship in that after an 0-3 start. Give credit to them. NC State representing the ACC beat Memphis 31-7. I had a feeling NC State was going to win, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. So yeah, NC State got the win there. Alabama kicked off the college football playoffs by beating Oklahoma. For a while, it was looking like it was all Oklahoma. They were up 17-0. Alabama, put up like 24 unanswered or something like that. Yeah, 20. It was. They came back and they ended up winning by 10, 34-24. So they were down 17-0. I thought it looked like Oklahoma was going to run away with this game. Alabama just erased the 17-point deficit to beat Oklahoma. So they got redemption. Alabama gets back in the playoff with a win, and now they're on to the Rose Bowl to take on Indiana. And then we had 3 other playoff games that happened over the weekend, 2 Saturday, Just a defensive, low-scoring kind of game. Miami winning 10-3 over Texas A&M. So A&M, they start out 11-0. They lost their final 2 games, losing to Texas in the regular season finale, and then they get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs at home against Miami, 10-3. So yeah, tough break for Texas A&M after an 11-0 start. Ole Miss didn't let the Lane Kiffin leaving them distract them because they took care of business, winning 41-10 over Tulane. And Oregon putting up 51 points in their dominant win over James Madison. James Madison had a hell of a run, but Oregon's just still a good team at the end of the day still. So, yeah, those were your first-round playoff matchups that happened over the weekend. So those are the 14 that advanced to the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Washington State winning the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, winning by 13 points, winning 34-21 over Utah State. Representing the only representative of the Pac-12 because there's 2 teams and one made the bowl game. So yeah, that conference pretty much is dead at this point, And yesterday we had 3 bowl games gone finally. Louisville beating Toledo. In a closer expected game because Louisville looked like it was running away with it. Toledo made it interesting in the fourth quarter, put up 19 points, but not enough. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers win the New Orleans Bowl, being Southern Miss. These used to be in the same conference, and they used to be in the Conference USA. Now, as opposing conferences now, so good for Western Kentucky. And then Ohio Bobcats winning the Frisco Bowl by beating UNLV 17-10. Tough way to end the year for Dan Mullins and company for UNLV. The Bobcats finished strong, finished with a 9-win season. Another bowl win for them. Of course, the Hawaii game still currently going progress. We'll recap that next week's show. So let's recap the NFL now. Week 16 recap here before we get into this week's picks. But also, shout out to the Buffalo Sabres. They've won 7 straight games and only 2 points behind for a playoff spot. So they're turning their season around right now. As a Sabres fan, I'm pretty excited about this. Now that they've been turning around their season after 0-3 starting to begin the year. So what a week 16 we had. The trend of last week was a lot of comeback games. Comeback wins for sure. Starting with that epic Thursday night game we had last week. The Seahawks and the Rams, first place on line. Number 1 seed on the line for the NFC. So, yeah, NFC West, oh, yeah. It was 30-16. The Rams were up. It was 30-14. Rams were up by 16 points. Seattle came all the way back. They had a touchdown 2-point conversion. And that second 2-point version that tied up was a little controversial. It was like a bizarre one, That's how Seattle tied it up. Then we go to overtime. Rams had no problem go down the field and scoring a touchdown. Then next possession, Seahawks score a touchdown. But then they convert the 2-point conversion again to win the game in overtime. Just a thriller between these two teams. I wouldn't be surprised if I see these two teams again in the playoffs. No doubt. For a while, it looked like the Commanders were looking decent in the first half. Some of the second half, and then the Eagles started running away late in the second half, obviously, to winning 29-18. For a while, Washington was in this game. But Philly, defense forced turnovers, also just had to respond. And, the biggest choke job of the week. The Green Bay Packers blowing a 10-point lead late in the fourth quarter. It was and then they kicked a field goal. It was under 2 minutes. It was 16-9 to cut the deficit to 7 with the field goal that the Bears did. Then they go for the onside kick. Romeo Doubs pulls a Brandon Bostic. I don't know if you ever heard the name Brandon Bostic. Some of you fans, younger fans out there. Brandon Bostic failed to recover an onside kick for the Packers in the NFC Championship game 10 years ago against the Seattle Seahawks. Deja vu all over again. Bears get the ball back. They go down and score a touchdown late in the with under 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter to send this game to overtime. What's worse, what's even funnier is the Bears. Caleb Williams throws a 46-yard touchdown to DJ Moore to win the game. Bears are in first place. The Bears don't suck anymore. Packers don't own Chicago anymore. All I can say, that's the Green Bay Packers right there. They know how to choke. And I enjoyed every minute of that in that hotel in Cleveland Saturday. So yeah, it was a fun time. You have to go to the Rock and Hall of Fame. Pretty much, it was a Buffalo Bills takeover that city, including me as a Bills fan. It was a Bills Mafia takeover. It was amazing. Just seeing how many Bills fans we saw. It was 80% of that stadium this past Sunday was all Bills fans. So it was cold and windy because the stadium's right next to the lake, but it was so worth it. We lucked out at the end, but it was pretty much the James Cook show in that Bills win. Because the opening drive, Browns went down there and scored. Then Bills with their response. James Cook, an amazing long touchdown run there, ties it up. Then Ty Johnson gets a 2-yard rushing touchdown. Bills take the lead. Miss an extra point. 13-7 Buffalo at that point. Then Browns kick a field goal. It was 13-10. And the Buffalo Bills get another touchdown. James Cook hit his second there, 20-10 at halftime. It was looking like the Bills were going to win with it. They're up 23-10, like the third quarter. All of a sudden, the Browns get a touchdown, 23-17. And then they kicked the field. It was 23-20. It was turnovers there, too. Bills defense forced a few turnovers. They picked off Shedeur Sanders twice, but still. At times, we didn't score that much in the second half, but we found a way still to win. Honestly, we had outplayed that second half. We still managed to win. I'm happy about it. First Bills road game was a success. So it was a fun time down in Cleveland for sure. And the toilet bowl, Saints dominated the Jets 29-6. So Jets were worse than the Saints, obviously. I thought it was going to be the Saints were really bad this year. Turns out I was wrong. Vikings, Giants, good defensive kind of game. McCarthy looked good, but the Vikings get the winning by field goal, but not a bad matchup. Not a bad one. It was a good game. They get tested for a while. Looked like the Vikings were running away with it, but Giants made it interesting. But what's worse about the Vikings win, yes, they're happy they won, but is McCarthy gets ruled out for tomorrow's game. The huge NFC South showdown between the Buccaneers and Panthers. Battle for first place division. Goes to the Carolina Panthers. I picked it. I had a feeling the Panthers would win this one. Buccaneers are just falling apart. They've been falling apart for a while. And shout out to my brother Quinn Jordan for making the comment saying the Panthers might be in the playoffs. So far, he might be right. Panthers are in first place in the division now with that win. So, yeah. The Panthers with the win there. Tennessee Titans dominated the Chiefs. Worst of all, Gardner Minshew tore his ACL. Now they're down to the third-string quarterback. Chargers dominate the Cowboys. Kind of a meaningless game for the Cowboys since they already got mathematically made due to the Eagles-Commanders game this past Saturday. The Bengals smoked the Miami Dolphins. Joe Burrow, put up 45 points, 45-21, dominant win for there. Falcons eked out a win over the Cardinals, winning by a touchdown. But boy, this one kind of surprised me. I knew the Jaguars would win, but I didn't expect them to go into Denver and win by 2 touchdowns against the Broncos. That's a big win for the Jaguars. They are in the conversation for the 1 seed after that win for sure. No doubt. And what a controversial ending in the Pittsburgh Steelers-Detroit Lions game. I mean, not only had the ending of the game, but he also had DK Metcalf throwing a punch at a Detroit Lions fan, gets suspended for the final 2 games of the regular season. Imagine if that cost the Steelers a playoff spot right there, DK. If it did, I would cut you right now. If I was the Steelers, I'd cut them if they missed the playoffs. You can't throw a punch in a fan. Come on. I mean, yeah, sometimes fans can be brutal, but still, you're a player. You can't let the fans get to you. You just got to go out there and play, man. But anyway, the Lions thought they had a touchdown, but then they call up offensive pass interference on the Lions. So, yeah, I think it was controversial. It was a bizarre ending for sure, but the Steelers pull off the upset with the Lions. And Detroit's on the brink of elimination now, of missing the playoffs now. Texans eked out a win, winning by 2 against the Raiders. They survived a scare from the Raiders. I had a feeling that the Texans weren't covering 14.5 for sure. They weren't. Ravens, man, they're really in big trouble after that loss to the Patriots. They were up 11. And then they just fall apart in the fourth quarter. Another fourth quarter blown lead, just like the Bills' Week 1 game. I mean, seriously, this Ravens team is just overrated. And Brock Purdy, the 49ers, dominate the Colts 48-27. So, wow. Colts are pretty much in trouble now. They're definitely done. So now let's get in our college picks for this week. Some of our bull picks here. Starting on Friday, the day after Christmas, there will be 3 games. First one at 1 o'clock is the Game Above Sports Bowl. It is Central Michigan at Northwestern. It's kind of a home field advantage kind of for Central Michigan because it's at Ford Field in Detroit. But I got to go Northwestern in this one. Got to go a Big Ten team in this one. I like the Big Ten over the MAC in this one. So, yeah, Northwestern over Central Michigan in this one. Next, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. This is at Chase Field at Phoenix, Arizona, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, playing on a baseball diamond there. Yeah, New Mexico and Minnesota. Mountain West versus Big Ten. Got to go the Gophers. They've had a good winning streak in bowl games. It's been a while since they lost a bowl game, too, because last year they beat my Hokies in a bowl game. But, yeah, I think P.J. Fleck keeps the bowl winning streak going for Minnesota. And to wrap it up for your Friday night ones, slate FIU and UTSA in the Server Pro First Responder Bowl. It's a trick one, but I'm going to go FIU just because they played Penn State pretty tough despite getting shut out, but still. They didn't get beat as bad as everyone thought they would be. So I like FIU. They gave Penn State a lot of fits in the beginning of that game. Saturday, a busy college football Saturday slate. Pretty much the last college football Saturday of the year because not any bowl games the following Saturday. So, yeah. So enjoy this final college football kind of Saturday pretty much. You know, because National Championship falls on a Monday. Yeah. So, starts with 11 a.m. on Saturday on ESPN. It is the Go Bowling Military Bowl. It is Pitt versus East Carolina. Should be an interesting 8-4 matchup, but I'm going to go Pitt in this one just because, they start a little bit slow, but then they got going. They were in the mix for an AC championship, maybe a playoff contention. They were in it, but this tough way to end their season. But I think Pitt's going to finish strong. So I got the Panthers over Pitt over East Carolina. Usually I pick against them, but I just don't see them losing this time. Next, the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. This is we played at Yankee Stadium. It is Penn State and Clemson. Both had letdown years. They were top 5 in the preseason polls. Who would have thought these two would play each other in a bowl game? We thought it would be a playoff matchup. Penn State let go James Franklin, but now he's at Virginia Tech, baby, right there. That's not right there. He's at Virginia Tech. I'm going to take Penn State in this one. Everyone thinks to be Clemson, but I got to go with the Nittany Lions. They've had some great history at Yankee Stadium. So I'm going to go with the Nittany Lions this one. Winning a game there. Next, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. This is played at Fenway Park. It's cool, but I'm still, as a Yankees fan, screw the Red Sox, But it's UConn and Army. UConn would have home field advantage one because of the New England area. But I'm going to take the Army Black Knights, Army West Point. Just because, got to go America. Got to go Army in this one. Now, 30 on ABC, the Pop-Tarts Bowl is Georgia Tech, number 22 versus number 12 BYU. So both ranked matchups should be a great game. But I'm going to go with BYU in this one. I got the Cougars in this one. just to finish strong, especially because they are playing with something, especially after getting snubbed in the playoffs. Next, it is the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, 4:30 on CW. Who do I like in this one? I'm going to go with the Miami, Ohio Redhawks in this one to win the Arizona Bowl. 5:45 on ESPN, it is the New Mexico Bowl. It is number 25 North Texas versus San Diego State. It was 9-3 this year. I think North Texas is going to finish strong, so I'm going to take the Mean Green in this one. 7:30 on ABC. Last of the ABC tripleheader here is UVA versus Missouri. So Virginia losing the AC title game, lose their playoff spot. They end up going the Gator Bowl here against Missouri. So I'm going to go SEC in this one. Got to go Missouri in this one. And to wrap up the Saturday slate of games, 9:15 on ESPN is LSU and Houston. This is at the Texas Bowl. Houston should be favored in this one, but I got to go LSU in this one. I'm going to go with the Tigers in this one. So, yeah, just to finish up with a note, but also get some good recruiting for Lane Kiffin come next season. Next is for Monday, there's only one game. The Birmingham Bowl is Georgia Southern versus the App State, who is 5-7. A 5-7 team to get in there. But I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to go with the 5-7 team. I'm going to go App State in this one. I'm going to take Appalachian State to win this Birmingham Bowl this year. 3 games on Tuesday, starting with Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. I'll definitely go Louisiana Tech in this one. This one, especially because that's Shreveport, Louisiana. This is in their home state, so yeah, they got to go Louisiana Tech in this one. The Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, Tennessee and Illinois. This is a home field advantage for Tennessee because it's in Nashville. So I'm going to go Tennessee Volunteers to win this one over Illinois. Illinois had a great season, had a high hopes, but they're going to lose to Tennessee in this one. And 9 o'clock on ESPN for the Tuesday slate, USC and TCU in the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is out in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to go with the Trojans. I'm going to go USC to win this game over TCU. So, yeah, I got USC winning this one. New Year's Eve, bunch of games. Noon on ESPN to kick it off. The Real Quest Bowl from Tampa, Florida, and Raymond James Stadium is number 23 Iowa versus number 14 Vanderbilt. I got to go Vanderbilt Commodores one. I was playing better, but just Vanderbilt's going to finish with 11-win season after a magical run they've had with Diago Pavia. So I'm going to go Vanderbilt this one, just because they've had a hell of a year. Next, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. This will be at El Paso, Texas. This is Arizona State versus the ACC champion Duke Blue Devils. I mean, yeah, we would have thought Duke winning ACC title game, but not in the playoffs side. We knew it was not going to be that way. We knew they weren't going to make the playoffs. But yeah, I think they're going to finish strong there, beat Arizona State. And what's great about this, after this game, Mentz will be back for another year for Duke. So I'm going to go Blue Devils this one. 3 o'clock on ABC. This should be a great one. Number 18, Michigan versus number 13, Texas in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. This will be at Orlando. Michigan dealing with some troubles. Sharif Moore gets fired, but also gets arrested for who knows. But yeah, they're without their coach, so they're a mess right now. So I'm gonna go Texas in this one. I think Archie Manning finished the season strong. 3:30 on ESPN. It is the Las Vegas Bowl. Is Nebraska versus number 15 Utah. This is a mismatch. It would be a lot closer if Dylan Raiola didn't transfer, also had a season injury. So I'm gonna take the Utah Utes in this one. Utah dominates this one. And to wrap things up for our college picks this week, because we'll do the other playoff games next week. We got one of them of our quarterfinals. It is Miami, 10 seeded Miami, taking on number 2 seeded and the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. This is the first time Ohio State's played a game since they lost this Big Ten title game to Indiana. So I think Ohio State's gonna not have to be motivated after that loss and go out there and dominate Miami. It's not gonna be even close. Buckeyes, big. They dominate the Hurricanes this one. I got Ohio State over Miami. That should be a good one. A classic matchup here. That'll be the Cotton Bowl from Dallas here. So now, NFL Week 17 kicks off tomorrow on Christmas Day with a triple header. 2 games on Netflix, 1 on Amazon Prime. Let's start with the 1 o'clock game on Netflix here. The Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Commanders. Cowboys are favored by 6.5 to win by a touchdown. So I'm going to take the Commanders the points. I know it's kind of risky because they got a third-string quarterback for Washington starting, but the Cowboys' D has been bad lately. So, I'm going to take Washington's one. So, I'm going to go with the Commanders in this points, this one. That'll be 1 o'clock. Immediately following the Cowboys-Commanders game, it'll be the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. 4:30 on Netflix as well. The Lions are favored by 7.5 this one. Minnesota will be without J.D. McCarthy tomorrow. And so Detroit still in the playoff conversation, but slim. But I think they're gonna be motivated after that loss to the Steelers. So I'm gonna go Detroit Lions to cover the 7.5 point spread, and they are my pick of the week. Give me the Lions all day in this one. And to wrap things up for your Christmas, you got the traditional Thursday night game on Amazon Prime. The Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know who the hell this Kansas City Chiefs quarterback's name is. It's hard to pronounce it, but yeah, they're on a third-string quarterback. Broncos are favored to win by 2 touchdowns, so I think the Broncos will cover. It's not even close. It's going to be the worst ass beating the Chiefs will ever have. So, Broncos by whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, the Broncos in that one. And you got 2 Saturday games for the second straight week. First, 4:30 on NFL Network. It is the Houston Texans at the LA Chargers. The implication on the one, Chargers already in the playoffs, but Houston could clinch it this weekend, possibly at the win. So I'm going to take Texans this one. They're just playing with some momentum. They were playing with a chip on their shoulder after a slow start at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to go Texans this one. And Saturday night, the Peacock exclusive game, streaming there on Peacock, is the Baltimore Ravens at the Green Bay Packers. Packers could clinch a playoff spot with the win over the Ravens. Ravens could be eliminated with a loss. So for the Ravens loss would put the Steelers as a division winner in the AFC North. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. If you're a Steelers fan, you gotta root for the Green Bay Packers probably in this one. So, but I think depending on who's starting for the Packers, I don't know. But the thing is, Ravens are without Lamar Jackson. Jordan Love might be back in concussion. He might be back. He might be back this week. So I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers one because I think Ravens are in trouble. They're just a mess right now. Yeah, so I'm going to take Green Bay over Baltimore in this one. Depending if Lamar's out or not, I think Baltimore's done. Now we're on their Sunday slate of games. The Arizona Cardinals at the Cincinnati Bengals. This one's kind of a shit kind of game. Both are losing records, but how is everyone doing? How's everyone's Christmas going? Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, but still, Merry Christmas, everyone. So, the Bengals are favored by 6.5. I think the Bengals will cover the spread. And it's going to be a blowout. They're going to dominate the Cardinals. So I got to go Joe Burrow on the Bengals in this one. This should be a fun matchup here. The Seattle Seahawks, the Carolina Panthers. Panthers holding on their division lead. Seattle holding on their division lead too. And the Seahawks are favored by 7.5. I'm going to take the Panthers in the points in this one. I'm going to take the plus 7.5. I think the Panthers keep this one close. Just because they've had some success with some good teams. So, yeah, I'll take Carolina in this one. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. I was just in this stadium last weekend. Cleveland. Now the Pittsburgh's coming there. My second favorite team's me there. Steelers have a chance to close out this division. I think they will. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to cover 2.5. They'll win by field goal. Probably more than that. So I like Pittsburgh in this one. The New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. This is a toilet bowl matchup here. So I'm going to take the Titans. They're just playing with a chip on their shoulder. Even though they're not going to make the playoffs or not. I just ain't doing anything. They're playing for pride at this point. So I like Tennessee in this one. The Titans this one. So I got them. The Battle of the Sunshine State is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. Buccaneers are in desperate need of a win if they want to keep it in the mix. Because right after the Dolphins, they play the Panthers one more time in Week 18 next week to finish out the regular season. So yeah, these next 2 games are crucial for Tampa Bay. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers to cover 5.5 in the spread. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Jaguars could possibly close out this division this weekend. So Jaguars are going to have no problem with old man Rivers, Phillip Rivers there. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Indianapolis Colts to win by a touchdown. That spread. So, yeah. New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Who do I like in this one? Yes, Patriots are favored by 2 touchdowns, but I think the Jets keep it close. Patriots might win this one, but it's going to be a lot closer. So, I'll take the plus 13.5 for the Jets. Just because the NFL has been so weird. And plus, it's Week 17. Late in the season, some of these bad teams surprise you. The New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders is the battle for the first number 1 overall pick here. Pretty much both these teams want to tank and get the first pick in the draft. So I'm going to take the Giants. I think the Raiders want to lose this more for that number 1 pick in the draft. So yeah, I'm going to take the New York Giants this one. It's pretty much a tank bowl this one is. And America's Game of the Week on Fox. This should be a great one. The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles going into Western New York, taking on my Buffalo Bills. Should be a great one. Josh Allen is expected to play despite getting injured in the Cleveland game I was at. So he is expected to play. So, Eagles, yes. they're still a good team, but they're not as good as last year's team. So, sounds biased, but I'll go with the Bills. Just being biased, I'm going to go with the Bills, but also just because the Eagles are just inconsistent. Just like, I mean, they're both inconsistent, but I think Bills having home field advantage is going to play a big role in this one. So, yeah, that's your 4 o'clock game on Fox. Yeah, the Bills, Eagles. I got the Bills with that one. That should be a great game. Probably the best game of the week. Just because, not just Josh, but you also got Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. It should be a great matchup, though, overall. Sunday Night Football this week. The Chicago Bears and San Francisco 49ers. Both clinched, but Bears are fighting for the 1 seed. Also, to clinch the division. Niners already in the playoffs, so I'll take Chicago. They're getting the round of momentum after a comeback over the Packers. So I gotta go Chicago winning on the road. And to cap things off, Monday Night Football. LA Rams at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are favored. I mean, the Rams are favored by 2.5 in Atlanta, so Rams will dominate this Falcons team. So give me the LA Rams. Thank you all for tuning in this week for Christmas Eve edition. I will see you all next week for New Year's Eve edition of Instigator Mick. Merry Christmas, everyone.